المحبوب هو النور. He is the beloved. He is the light. سخن عشق نه آن است که آید بر زبان. The language of love is not that which proceeds from the tongue. به نام خداوند جان و خرد، به نام خداوند جان و خرد که از این برتر اندیشه بر نگذرد. خداوند نام و خداوند جای، خداوند روزی ده رهنمای. خداوند کیوان و گردان سپهر، فروزنده ماه و ناهید و مهر. In the name of the All-High God of life and wisdom, beyond which thought cannot pass, God in name and God in place, the All-High God who provides guidance every day, the All-High God of Saturn and the revolution of the heavens, the illuminator of the moon, Venus, and the sun. I'd like to thank you all for coming here today on this most solemn occasion of the passing of my father, Soheil Hazini. It truly was a shock of very vast and deep, profound proportions for the family. And this includes also the family overseas. The past week or so has been quite surreal and feels like one is living through a live still movie. It isn't real, but as all things are born, all things must die. And even though my father's life was cut short at a fairly young age, as the saying goes, only the good die young.
ذره ها رقص کنند، آن کس که از او چرخ و هوا رقص کنند. جانها ز خوشی بی سر و پا رقص کنند. در گوش تو گویم که کجا رقص کنند. هر ذره که در هوا در هامون است، نیکو نگرش که همچو ما مفتون است. هر ذره اگر خوش است، اگر محزون است، سرگشته خورشید خوش بیچون.
strong and carry on, 'cause I know I don't belong here in heaven. Would you hold my hand if I saw you in heaven? Would you help me stand if I saw you in heaven? I'll find my way through night and day, 'cause I know I just can't stay here in heaven. Time can bring you down, time can bend your knee. Time can break your heart, have you begging please, begging beyond the door. There's peace, I'm sure, and I know there'll be no more tears in heaven. Would you know my name if I saw you in heaven? Would it be the same if I saw you in heaven? I must be strong and carry on, 'cause I know I don't belong here in heaven. 'Cause I know I don't belong here in heaven. Thank you. Sorry, I never told you all I wanted to say, and now it's too late to hold you, 'cause you've flown away, so far away.
Never had I imagined living without your smile. Feel
I took your presence for granted, but I always cared, and I miss the love we shared.
جملگی در حکم سه پروانه در جهان عاشقان افسانه اولی خود را به شم نزدیک کرد، گفت آن من یافتم معنای عشق. دومی نزدیک شعله بال زد، گفت آن من سوختم در سوز عشق. سومی خود داخل آتش فکند، آری آری این بود معنای
A reading from Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall want for nothing. For he makes me to lie down in green pastures and leads me beside still waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the righteous path for his name's sake. For even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
My father, Soheil Hazini, was born in Tehran, Iran on the 26th of October, 1949, and he was the firstborn child of Mohammed and Bajia Hazini. His siblings include Surush, Simin, and Siavash. A particularly precocious child, yet gifted academically, while simultaneously drawn to sports and athletics, my father grew up in the turbulent post-World War II years of the 1950s and 1960s among a large and close-knit Baha'i family in a huge house with a large property and garden owned by his maternal grandparents in the Simetri district of Tehran. His memories growing up in this loving household were quite fond, especially of his grandparents, Agha and Khanum, whom he passionately adored throughout his life. My father's lifelong love for nature found its passionate context and impetus during the 2.5 years in the early 1960s when my grandfather was assigned as a provincial court judge by the Iranian Ministry of Justice in Gumbad Qaboos, where the family lived among the Iranian Turkoman tribesmen. There he spent hours in the hills and forests contemplating the wonders of nature, communing with the animals, even befriending a baby deer who soon became a household pet. He recalled to me that his first serious heartbreak occurred before he was even a teen, when he lost his much beloved dog, Shangul, when a school bus outside their Simetri house in Tehran accidentally ran over it. My father, Soheil, finished high school in the spring of 1967, graduating with high distinction, which included him among the top 10 percentile of the country. As a result, he was sent abroad to study in Austria under an Iranian government scholarship endowed by the Pahlavi Foundation, the Bunyad Pahlavi. A year later, on a short summer visit to Iran, he was to meet the late Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi in person at the Niavaran Palace when the Shahanshah Aryamer had summoned the most academically gifted among the Iranian students studying abroad to the palace for a friendly meeting. It should be noted that my father and the Shah shared a common birthday and that they both died at the exact same age of 62, exiled from their motherland. 6 months earlier, however, while only 18 years old, he met the great love of his life and his future wife, Mitra, my mother, who was only then 16 years old. They met at an Alpine Baha'i winter school during the Christmas holidays of 1967. He proposed to my mother only 4 days after they had first met, promising to marry her as soon as he finished his bachelor's degree. In late 1970, only a little over 3 years since he had commenced his engineering degree, and motivated primarily by his love for my mother, Mitra, he completed his bachelor's degree with high distinction and was immediately offered to continue his studies into the postgraduate level by the University of Stuttgart in Germany. In January 1971, Soheil and Mitra finally married in Tehran, Iran, and returned together soon thereafter to Germany as newlyweds to begin their new life together. In December of the same year, less than a year since my parents had married, I was born. My father completed his postgraduate degree in structural engineering in the spring of 1974, and immediately thereafter my mom and I returned to Iran. That is, the Iran of the 1970s oil boom and the Shah's sweeping modernization and industrialization projects. On his return, he initially worked as a consulting engineer for a private firm, but in early 1976 he was obliged to do his mandatory military service. But due to his higher education and postgraduate degree, after basic training, my father was elevated to the rank of first lieutenant as a commissioned officer and assigned to the Imperial Iranian Army Corps of Engineers. In September 1977, Nika was born, and soon after that, my father's commission and mandatory military service ended. Immediately after this, he established his own firm and was among the very first developers or builders of the Shahrak-e-Gharb district of Tehran. As a result of the 1979 Islamic Revolution, or devolution as my father always called it, in January 1979, we fled Iran for the United States, only a few short days before the Shah and Farah themselves left it permanently. Arriving in the United States from Iran, we joined my maternal grandparents, Parvin and Ataullah Manavi, and my paternal uncles, Siavash Surush and his wife Mary, and my aunt Simin and her husband Amir. We initially lived in La Jolla, San Diego, then moved to Huntington Beach in Fountain Valley, California. In late 1980, my dad was offered a job by the aerospace company Martin Marietta, and so in early 81, just after Ronald Reagan was sworn into office, we moved from California to Littleton, Denver, Colorado. In this job, my father worked on assorted top clearance military and aerospace projects, including the rocket boosters for the Space Shuttle Columbia and the MX missile. The 18 months in Colorado were a special time, a period my father always looked back on fondly, especially since Dina, the baby of the family, was born there in February 1982. As my maternal grandparents, Mr. and Mrs. Manavi, had moved to Australia in 1980, in July 1982, my father moved his family of wife and 3 children to Sydney, Australia. 1 year after that, again, we moved from Sydney, joining the Manavis now on the Gold Coast in Queensland. Here soon, he established his own firm, which eventually became Dina Investments, and eventually became a successful developer, beginning with residential homes and then moving on to commercial property and one high-rise, the Ipanema building on the Gold Coast Highway. But unfortunately, as a consequence of the global financial crisis and the crash of the Gold Coast real estate market and City Pacific specifically, in early 2010, we were forced to wind up the company. Later that year, my parents, Soheil and Mitra, moved to Mackay, and then in June of 2011 here to Townsville, where my father worked as a senior consultant engineer for the mining industry. For this job, he was sent to Papua New Guinea and Mount Isa, and it was in Mount Isa where he contracted the flu, which he never recovered from. On Sunday afternoon, January 29, complaining of stomach pains and discomfort, my mother rushed him to the Townsville Hospital emergency, where after a surgery, a CT scan, and a biopsy, the worst was confirmed, that he was terminal with advanced stage 4 bowel cancer, which had spread and metastasized to his other organs. Worst of all, the doctors told him and us that he only had a few days to live. There was really nothing more the doctors could do. Less than 6 days later, my father Soheil passed away peacefully in Ward 2 of Townsville Hospital as my mother and I held his hands and I was reciting Arabic prayers of the Bab over him as he passed over to the eternal realms of light, the spiritual orient, the divine angelic worlds. He died on Saturday, 4th of February 2012 at 8:15 a.m. and is now survived by his wife and widow, my mother Mitra, myself, and his 2 daughters and my sisters, Nika and Dina, all of whom were his pride and joy. My father was an inspiration to me personally and was the person most of all who sowed the seeds of my social, political, and spiritual consciousness. He seeded my social radicalism and critical thinking about all things in life. Although he and I disagreed about a few things and argued incessantly like two philosophers from the ancient Platonic Academy. Nevertheless, our disagreements were academic, and we always agreed about the core issues. Our conversations and scholarly discussions ranged subjects including literature, politics, philosophy, religion, and science. My own profound love for Iranian high culture, literature, philosophy, and spirituality came from him. My mother says, quote, "Soheil was my absolute everything in life, ever since I was 16 years old. He was the most loving and loyal husband anyone could ever ask for, and I could not have asked for anyone better than him. I will miss him dearly until we meet again, and if there is a second life, I will choose Soheil again as my love and soulmate in that and infinite other lifetimes." Soheil was not only my husband, he was also my best friend and my teacher who taught me so much about life, history, politics, literature, culture, spirituality, and most of all about love. This is a poem by my mother. "God saw you getting tired, and a cure was not meant to be. So he put his arms around you and whispered, 'Come to me.' With tearful eyes and a heart full of anguish, I watched as you passed away. And although I loved you so dearly, I could not make you stay. A golden heart stopped beating, your hard-working hands at rest, because God broke my heart to prove that he only takes the best." Unquote. As the Jewish saying goes, may his memory be blessed. Nur.
My father, Soli, who came to be known by that name because of my sister's ability to give everyone nicknames, was the first man I ever loved. They say that your first love is eternal. It transcends all the worlds of God. I suppose that's why, according to all religions and philosophies, the one unifying truth is that love will conquer all. There is no force more powerful. So as I reflect on the past and all of my memories with my father, the only attribute that stays with me is the love we shared. My earliest recollection is being a small child, an infant perhaps, wrapped up in his arms. He would always hold me tight, and especially so whenever I was sick, as a protective father with his little girl. He taught me strength and self-belief, that I could achieve anything, and rejoiced in all my accomplishments in life. In truth, I always felt we shared an easy and unspoken understanding. We thought in the same manner and saw the world through similar eyes. He taught me to respect all life, to love nature, and to rejoice in all the splendors of life. Most of all, he showed me what it meant to be loyal. His love for and loyalty to my mother was awe-inspiring. His dedication and emotional bond to his family around the world, far and wide, was second to none. It's amazing to think that one heart could be filled with so much unwavering love for so many individuals. And yet, for a man that was all marshmallow on the inside, his exterior was tough and rugged. If you didn't know any better, you'd think him a hardened man with a steel resolve. However, if you looked beyond that tough exterior, you would see the sensitivity and gentleness, But it was also his sense of humor I found most amusing. Whenever we were at a restaurant, he would address all the waiters and waitresses as management. This became our family joke. I wonder if he's now seated in heaven and calling on management. He identified with so many cultures and peoples of the world, but always felt an affinity with Native American Indian culture, history, and its peoples. In this vein, a Native American Indian proverb says, "When it comes your time to die, be not like those whose hearts are filled with fear of death, so that when their time comes, they weep and pray for a little more time to live their lives over again in a different way. Sing your death song and die like a hero going home." Soheil, I think you lived a full and fruitful life, and you were not, by the grace of God, disposed to any prolonged suffering. You were taken quickly, like all those who the heavens are eager to claim, and your last expression was the smile of a hero going home. Another Native American Indian proverb says, "When you were born, you cried and the world rejoiced. Live your life in a manner so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. As my son enters this world crying, you have left it rejoicing. May your soul soar the eternal heights, Soheil. Watch over us until the day comes when you are there to greet us in our ascension from this world."
He was the first person who ever held me. For as I was born, the doctors handed me straight into his arms. I was his youngest child and forever became Daddy's little girl. Maybe this is what cemented our bond, because we always shared a special connection and a deep understanding of one another. When I was little, I gave him the affectionate name, Soheil, and ever since then he was known by this name by family and friends. All my life, people have commented on how much I resemble him. He was so proud of this and would always glow whenever people mentioned it. And although as a little girl, I would be confused as to how a girl could look like a man, now I am the one who cherishes this resemblance. He was a very proud father and always encouraged us to excel in everything we did. He would embarrass us in the way he boasted about us to people. But his faith and belief in me taught me to be confident and independent, and for this I will forever be grateful. I will miss his affection and words of encouragement, and I wish I had the opportunity to reciprocate the love and support he provided to me all my life. And the older we both got, the more open he became, and I'm so pleased that I got to know his hopes, dreams, and regrets. Although he won't be able to give me away at my wedding, I know he will be watching over me forever. And I feel blessed that I was able to spend 30 years of my life with him, and that he always knew how much I loved him.
The following statement is a statement of condolence from His Imperial Majesty Reza Pahlavi II. First read in Persian and then my translation.
با اندوه بسیار در گذشته آقای سهیل حزینی، ایران دوستی که همواره در دل در گروه مهر ایران داشت را به خانواده آن شاد روان و بازماندگان و یاران ایشان صمیمانه تسلیت می‌گویم. یادش گرامی و روانش شاد باد. با احترام، رضا پهلوی.
With much regret as to the passing of Mr. Soheil Hazini, that devoted patriot whose heart was ever bound to and held great love for Iran. And to the family of the departed and to his friends and survivors as well, I wish to extend my heartfelt condolences. May his memory be cherished and may his spirit rejoice. With respect, Reza Pahlavi.
خیلی زمان کوتاهی بود که من و فامیلیم با جناب حزینی و خانواده‌شون آشنا شدیم. 7 ماهی بیشتر طول نکشید. ولی در این مدت صفا و محبت و عشق ایشون آنچنان قلب و روح ما را تسخیر کرده بود که همیشه آرزو داشتم ای کاش از اوان زندگی با ایشون بودم و از حضورشون فیض می بردم. درگذشت ایشون واقعا قلب و روح همه ما را و عمق وجود ما را سوزاند. ای کاش میتونستم اون چرا که درونم میگذره به بیان بیارم و متاسفم نمیتونم و به واسطه همدردی شعری را سرودم که امیدوارم بیانگر احساساتم باشه و اینا تقدیم حضور میتر خانم و فرزندانشون. گر که باشی زورقی بشکسته و بازیچه طوفان و گردابی مهیب، یا که بشکسته به هم از خشم موج و صخره ها، وانگه تو بینی انتهای آرزوها و امید، آنگه از سوز دل و از قصه هایم آگهی. راستی که در آینه زمان ما یکدیگر را دیده ایم، زیرا که همدرد همیم. گر که لب تشنه شوی همچون کبیر، بهر یک قطره دهان بگشوده سوی آسمان، یا چو خشکیده گلی گشته جدا از شاخسار، افتاده است بر روی خاک، با نسیمی گشته هر سوی روان، آنگه از سوز دل و از قصه هایم آگهی. گر بدانی حالت ماهی که افتاده است برون از آب و اندر زنده بودن در تلاش، آرزویش منحصر یک جام آب، آنگه از سوز دل و از قصه هایم آگهی. گر بدانی حالت دامی که افتاده به دام، بس هراسان در تلاش زنده بودن بیقرار، تنها امید او فرار، آنگه از سوز دل و از قصه هایم آگهی. در شبان تیره و تار چون که داری سر به سوی آسمان، گر که بینی تو ستاره در فروز و در سقوط، لحظه ای بودن دگر لحظه فنا، آن منم بگذشته از بودن شتابان در فنا، آنگه از سوز دل و از قصه هایم آگهی. راستی که در آینه زمان ما یکدیگر را دیده ایم، زیرا که همدرد همیم.
الله تعالی پروردگارا آمرزگارا نفس نفیسی به ملکوت شهود صعود نمود و از خاکدان فانی به جهان جاودانی شتافت. میهمان جدید است، عزیز فرمان بنده قدیم است، خلعت بدیعتا کن. ای بیامرز و بنواز و به خلوتگاه راز راه ده و در محفل تجلی همدم و دمساز نما. بازماندگان را نوازش فرما و سایش بخش و زیور عالم آفرینش کن. توی دهنده و بخشنده و مهربان و توی آمرزنده و نوازنده و توانا. عبدالبها عباس.
Khashnothra Ahurai Mazdao Hashem Vahu Vahishtam Asti Ushta Ahmai Yatashai Vaishtai Hashem Yatahu Viryo Ataratush Ashaita Chit Acha Vangeush Dazda Meningeush Shotananam Angeush Mazdai Ashtremcha Ahurai Aim Drigupya Dadat Vastarem جسم بنگ مزدا یزد هر وستوان هر وسب آقا هر وسب خدا عبادها ابی انجام بونشته فرختنت جماغا پرجترها تو مفیک آبروند پرونده آن عین په هم عی په ادرو گیرا اچم چمنا صفنا افسا ناشا پرورا پانا عین عین آن عین خورشیدتم مینوتم وسنا هر وستوم هو سپس هر حمید هر نیکفره بیشترنا ترو بیش ان اوشکا فرشکا پجودهد خوابر اوخشیا اورجا اسلتها رخوها ورون افریفا بفرفتا عدوی کمراد فرمان کم ایختن فرموش همرنا صنایا آترش آبیش افراج دوم همچون مینوستگر آمینوگر مینو نهب آذربادگر آذر نامگر باد آذرگر باد نامگر باد گلگر باد گردوم آذر کبریتوم بادگر جای آب توم گل آذرگل گل وادگر گل نامگر گرگر گروگر گراگر گر آگرگر آگراگر آگراگرگر آگومان آجومان آخوان امشتا فشاتنا پدمانی فیروزگر خداوند اهورامزد آبرین کوهان توان آبرین نوتوان وسپان وسپار خاور آهو اوخشیدار دادر ریومند خورهمند داور کرفگر بختار فرشگر اثا جمعیت یتا آفرین نامی یا مزدا. I died as a mineral and became a plant. And from planthood I died and rose to animality. Then I died from animality and became human. Why should I fear? When was I less by dying? Yet once more I shall die as human to soar with angels blessed. But even from angelhood I must pass, for all doth perish except his face. When I have sacrificed my angel soul, I shall become what no mind has ever conceived. Oh, let me not exist, for non-existence proclaims in organ tones, verily we are from God, and to him we shall return. We're going to have a little break now for morning tea, and then we will be heading to the cemetery. Thank you.
غم عشقت بیابون پرورم کرد هوای بخت بی ما که سر در بیابونم شباز، آخ ما که سر در بیابونم شباز، سرشک از دیده بورانم شب و روز.
لله عابدون إن كل لله عابدون إن كل لله
إن كل لله ذاكرون